In this video, we're going to be looking at the composition of two functions and talking about the domain and range of these compositions. Okay, so let's start with the domain. So it's looking at g of f, which means which function's on the inside if it's g of f. That is g of f of x. And remember, when you're composing functions, you always start with the inside function, right? And luckily, they have given us the inside function first. So we can start with it and then we could end with the outside function. So let's look at the domain. What we do to find the domain of something like this is we start with every number and we see if we can track it all the way through. What I mean by that is this. Start at 0. 0 goes to 3. Now go over here and find a 3. There isn't one. Okay, so what that means is that 0, even though it went to 3, there's no matching 3 here, so 0 is not in the domain of g of f. It's got to get all the way to the end. Okay, let's try 1. 1 goes to 3, but again, there's no 3 here to pick up, so 1 is not in our domain. 3 goes to 1. Now there is a 1 here that goes to 0. Okay, so we go from 3 to 1 and from 1 to 0, so that means 3 is in our domain. So 3 is the first thing in our domain. 6 goes to 1 and 1 goes to 0, so 6 tracked all the way. That means 6 is in our domain. Okay, 7 goes to 9, 9 goes to 2. That means 7 tracked all the way and it's in our domain. And then 9 goes to 5, 5 goes to 0. That means 9 tracked the whole way and it is in our domain. Okay, so our domain here is 3, 6, 7, and 9. So we left out the first couple. Now to find the range, what we do is we look at these numbers and we track them all the way in and see what they hit. Okay, so let's track this 3. 3 goes to 1 and 1 goes to 0. That means our range includes 0. Okay, then we go to the 6. 6 goes to 1, 1 goes to 0. We already have 0 in our range. We don't need to write it twice. Okay, our next number is a 7. 7 goes to 9, and 9 goes to 2. That means that 2 is in our range. Okay, and then finally, 9 goes to 5, and then 5 goes to 0, but 0 is already there, so our range is 0 and 2. Okay, let's do another one. So we are looking at f of g. So g is our inside function this time. So that's the one we're going to start with, right? Because f of g means f with g of x on the inside. And you always start your inside. So here's the inside function and here's the outside function. We're going to do the exact same thing as we did last time. We're going to track the numbers, okay? So 0 goes to 2. There's a 2. So 2 goes to 4. So 0 is in our domain. 4 goes to 9. Here's a 9 that goes to 4, so 4 tracks all the way, so it's in our domain. 5 goes to 2, 2 goes to 4, so 5 is in our domain. And then 6 goes to 0. Whoops, there's no 0 over here. So 6 does not track all the way. It goes to 0, but it doesn't pick up over here. So 6 is not in our domain. So I'm very bad at making these squiggly lines. Sorry about that. But this is 0, 4, 5 is our domain. Now to find the range, we take these three numbers and we see where they track to. Okay, so 0 goes to 2, 2 goes to 4. So 4 is in our range. 4 goes to 9, 9 goes to 4, but we've already got it written. 5 goes to 2, 2 goes to 4, we've already got it written. So that's the range. Okay, this time I'm going to do it a little faster. I'm going to try to do it both at once. So once I find that something's in my domain, I'm going to see where it tracks to and then write it in our range. This might save us a little time once you get used to it. Okay, so it's like g is our inside function, so we'll start there. So 1 goes to 9, 9 goes to 2. So 1 is in our domain and 2 is in our range. So 1 tracks all the way and it tracks all the way to 2, so that's in our range. Okay. 3 goes to 8, nothing. So we stop that one. 5 goes to 0, 0 goes to 1. So 5 is in our domain and 0 is in our range. 5 and 0. 7 goes to 1, 1 goes to 1. So 7 is in our domain. and 1 is in our range. 8 goes to 6, 6 goes to 5, so 8 is in our domain, and 5, which is what it tracks to, is in our range. And that is it on that one. Okay, let's do one more. Okay, so we have g of f, so f's the inside function. So let's see if we can do these at the same time again. So domain, start with 0. 0 goes to 2, 2 goes to 2. So 0 tracks, so it's in our domain, and it tracks to 2 is in our range. 2 goes to 2, 2 goes to 2. So 2 is in our domain, and 2 is in our range. Up, it's already written, so I don't need to do it again. 5 goes to 6. There's no 6, so 5 is out. 6 goes to 8. There's no 8, so 6 is out. 7 goes to 7, and then 7 goes to 2. So 7 is in our domain, and 2 is in our range, but again, we don't need to write it again. 9 goes to 0. 0 goes to 9. So since 9 tracked all the way, it's in our domain. And what did it track to? 9. So 9 is in our range. And that's it.